Ladies and gentlemen, UNC is back, and I got something to say. You all know I love me some football, and when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, Lord have mercy, they got themselves a situation that's going to turn heads from Santa Clara to the Super Bowl. Now let me talk to you all real quick about the man, the myth, the marvel, Christian McCaffrey. That's right, according to Coach Kyle Shanahan, CMC is looking as healthy as can be, and I ain't gonna lie to you, that's the best news the Bay Area done heard since Joe Montana had a zip in his arm. Now let's not get it twisted. Last season, McCaffrey wasn't just limping, he was barely available. Only 4 games, y'all. 4. That Achilles tendonitis in both ankles, that right knee screaming every time he tried to make a cut. It was a nightmare. He still managed 202 yards, 4 yards a pop, but he wasn't hitting them explosive lanes like we're used to. No touchdowns, 0 zilch, nada. And for a man who once led the league in rushing, that ain't the McCaffrey we know. Let me take y'all back to 2023. Picture this, 1,459 yards on the ground, 14 touchdowns, and another 564 through the air with 7 scores. That man was a human cheat code. First team All-Pro, 3rd Pro Bowl, and the crown jewel, NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He was him, and then some. So when you fall from that peak to what we saw last season, folks start wondering, is this the beginning of the end? But now, Kyle Shanahan done got up in front of them. Mike's at OTAs and said what everybody been praying to hear. CMC is healthy. Not getting there, not close, but as healthy as can be. Now you'll know Coach Shanahan don't play with words. He ain't the type to sugarcoat. So if he says McCaffrey's ready, then buckle up. And baby, and videos from Santa Clara tell no lies. McCaffrey was out there slicing through drills like a hot knife. Through butter, sharp cuts, explosive bursts. He looked like a Ferrari coming out the shop after a tune-up. That boy's got that bounce back. And everybody from the trainers to the widouts noticed. Now let's talk about that run game. With McCaffrey sidelined last year, the 49ers still managed 2,163 yards and 17 touchdowns. That's good for 12th in the league. Not bad, but in 2023, with a healthy CMC, they ranked 3rd with 389 yards and 27 scores. He elevates that offense like yeast and dough, baby. And don't sleep Jordan Mason, last year's lead rusher, done packed up and gone to Minnesota. So now we looking at Isaac Guerendo and some fresh legs in Jordan James and Corey Kinner. That's why it's crucial for McCaffrey to be ready. Cause while them young bucks getting they snaps in OTAs and maybe training camp, especially with McCaffrey expecting a baby, none of them are taking this offense to the promised land without CMC doing sensey thing. Oh, and by the way, this man ain't just back, he's locked in. Signed a 2-year, $38 million extension last June. That's commitment from both sides. The Niners believe in him. He believes in the team. That's a recipe for success. Part 8. The bigger picture. CMC and Super Bowl aspirations. Let's be real. The Niners ain't just trying to win the NFC West. They trying to hoist the Lombardi. And that ain't happening without a bell cow back like McCaffrey carrying the rock, catching passes and keeping defenses honest. Brock Purdy's development, Brandon Ayuk and Debo's versatility, all that becomes lethal when the defense has to spy 23 in the backfield. Now you'll know I've seen a lot of running backs in my day. I played with Terrell Davis. I've studied LT Marshall Faulk, Emmett and Barry. McCaffrey? He's in that conversation. Why? Because he's a complete back. He ain't just fast. He's smart, he's physical, he blocks, he catches, he reads holes like a running back professor. When healthy, top 3 in the league and the gap ain't wide, So what we looking at for 2025-26? If CMC truly back to form, we talking 1,300 yards, rushing 500 yards, receiving 15 total touchdowns, another Pro Bowl. Maybe all pro nod, and if that defense does what it do, the Niners are absolutely contenders. I got them going 13-4 with a shot at the NFC Championship. One thing that can't be measured on the stat sheet is Christian McCaffrey's mental toughness. Coming back from those injuries, especially with Achilles issues on both ankles, is no joke. It takes a warrior's mindset to push through that kind of rehab and come out swinging. And knowing CMC, he's not just focused on himself, he's a leader in that locker room. He's the guy younger players look up to. The guy who demands excellence on and off the field. That leadership could be the secret sauce that helps the 49ers grind through those tough moments this season. Don't sleep on how McCaffrey opens up the passing game. Defenses have to respect his ability to catch out of the backfield, which means linebackers and safeties can't cheat too much towards the secondary. That creates more space for guys like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle to work their magic. When CMC is healthy, Shanahan's offense becomes an all-out assault, mixing run and pass with surgical precision. That versatility is hard to defend in today's NFL. Now let's keep it 100. Staying healthy is the biggest challenge for McCaffrey going forward. The NFL is a grind, and injuries happen. But with the team's investment in him, and with the advanced medical staff in San Francisco, plus McCaffrey's dedication to conditioning and recovery, there's a strong chance he can stay on the field more consistently. If he does, the 49ers will have one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the game. At 29, McCaffrey is at that critical stage where durability and production have to align. This season could define how history remembers him. Whether as a Hall of Famer who overcame adversity, or just a great talent derailed by injuries. That pressure fuels champions. And knowing the fire in CMC's belly, I'm betting he's ready to write the next chapter in his legacy. Christian McCaffrey's style has evolved over the years. Early in his career, he was primarily a speed and agility back who shredded defenses with quick cuts and breakaway run. But as he's matured, especially after overcoming injuries, he's become a more patient runner, reading blocks better, picking his spots, and using his vision to maximize every carry. That evolution makes him even harder to stop because he's not just relying on pure athleticism, but also on savvy football IQ. A running back is only as good as the holes he's given. And the 49ers' offensive line is another big piece of this puzzle. With consistent upgrades and better chemistry up front, that line will be carving paths for McCaffrey to hit. Shanahan's zone running scheme thrives when the O-line is firing. And if that line can protect in open lanes like last time, McCaffrey's return to form becomes even more likely. One thing Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff will be mindful of is managing McCaffrey's workload. They'll want to keep him fresh through the season without overloading him early on, especially with some missed camp time due to paternity leave. Smart rotation with backups like Urindo, James, and Kinner will be key to preserving CMC's health and explosiveness for the playoff push. Let's not forget the fantasy football angle, folks. Christian McCaffrey is one of those elite guys fantasy owners salivate over when healthy. His dual threat ability to rack up yards on the ground and through the air means it's a weekly must start. If he stays healthy and returns to form, fantasy managers everywhere will be dancing come draft season. Let me leave you all with this. When Christian McCaffrey is healthy, the 49ers are a nightmare. He's not just a running back, he's a weapon of mass production. And if Kyle Shanahan says he's ready, then y'all better take notice. Because come September, them boys in red and gold are coming for everybody. Believe that. I'm Cal.
Đây mình sẽ được cái mũ miệng như này. Bây giờ mình sẽ làm một ngôi sao màu đỏ mình gắn lên nhé. Đây ngôi sao mình gắn giữa đây. Nó sẽ có đây độ rộng cỡ này là vừa. Rồi mình sẽ cắt ra nha mọi người. Đây mình gắn lên đây. Mọi người nhìn ra Wonder Woman chưa? Bây giờ mình sẽ dán lên nhé. Mình dán chính giữa. Rồi mình tiếp tục mình dán vào. Mình dán vào đây. Rồi, bây giờ thì mình sẽ làm dây buộc cho nó nha mọi người. Mình đặt mặt sau, mình làm dây buộc. Mình sử dụng. Rồi, mình đo 2 đoạn dây dài bằng nhau nhé. Đoạn dây dài cỡ một gang tay là được mọi người nhé. Hoặc là mọi người có thể đo với cái phần đầu của mình ấy, để xem là đoạn dây dài thế nào thì phù hợp. Đây, mình cắt ra, bây giờ mình chỉ cần dán vào là xong. Rất là đơn giản đấy mọi người. Mình đã kẻ sẵn từ ban đầu để mình vẽ. Bây giờ thì mình có thể dùng cái đường kẻ đấy để mình biết được vị trí để mình dán cái sợi dây nha mọi người. Cho keo. Đấy. Mình áp cái sợi len mình lên. Đấy, mình treo vào đúng cái đoạn dây, đoạn mà mình đã vẽ mọi người. Đó. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ tận dụng cái phần ban đầu mình cắt mặt nạ này, thì còn dư một chút cái bìa này, mình sẽ tận dụng nó nhé. Đây, mình sẽ sử dụng để mình áp vào, như vậy thì cái phần dây của mình sẽ dính rất là chắc và không sợ là bị tuột hay đứt ra nhé. Rồi, vậy là mình đã hoàn thành xong cái mặt nạ Wonder Woman nhé mọi người. Đây, làm rất là đơn giản thôi. Mình làm bằng giấy bìa màu. Đấy, sau đó thì mình dùng kéo mình cắt tạo hình, rồi mình luồn dây, thế là xong rồi. Rất là đơn giản, dễ dàng. Các mẹ có thể làm cho các bé để làm thành những cái mặt nạ để chơi Halloween nhá. Đây là sản phẩm sau khi mình làm xong, rất là xinh đúng không? Chúc mọi người có những cái mặt nạ thật là đẹp nha. Hẹn gặp lại mọi người ở những video tiếp theo. Bye.